You get the Slack message, hey, do you have a minute? I have some questions about your report. Your stomach drops, right? That's when the voices in your head kick in. And it's like getting called to the principal's office. And if you're like me, that was never a good sign. Here's the thing though, most of us have been conditioned to think feedback equals bad news. And if someone's giving you feedback, something must have gone wrong. But what if I told you that's completely backwards? I'm David Hofstetter, and I've been training and coaching leaders for 30 years now. And today, I want to show you how to flip the script on feedback. Not just how to survive it, but how to actually seek it out and use it to accelerate your career. So if that sounds good, let's dive in. First, let's talk about why you should actually want feedback. Look, I get it. It can feel personal. It can feel like criticism. It can sting. But here's what I've seen coaching and training hundreds of professionals. The ones who actually actively seek feedback, they're the ones who get promoted. And the ones who avoid it, they stay stuck. You know the old expression, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, but expecting a different outcome? Well, without feedback, that's exactly what you're doing. So think about leaders that you admire, the ones who really have it figured out. I guarantee one of their key traits is being open to feedback. They don't run from it, they seek it out. According to PwC, 60% of employees say that feedback they received at work helped them achieve their career goals. That's huge. So if feedback is this powerful, why do we dread it so much? And more importantly, how do we get better at it? And that's what we're covering today. But before we get tactical, we need to talk about mindset. Because if your brain is in defense mode, none of these tactics are going to matter. So here's 3 mindsets that you need to adopt. First, a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. A growth mindset means you're open to feedback, you're curious about what could be different, and you're willing to embrace challenges. A fixed mindset keeps you stuck where you are. Which one sounds like someone on their way up? Second, and this is critical, when someone gives you feedback about a presentation you gave or how you handled the situation, they're commenting on specific actions, not on whether you're a good person. You've got to separate the behavior from the identity. And third, even bad feedback has useful information. Sometimes feedback's delivered poorly, sometimes it's vague, it feels off base, but there's still gold in there if you're willing to dig for it. Okay, mindset's covered. Let's get into the framework. This is a system I teach all my clients. It's called the 5 R's. Number 1 is request. We'll come back to this one in detail, but here's the key. The best feedback often comes when you ask for it, not when it's thrust upon you. Number 2, receive. When someone is giving you feedback, resist every urge to defend, explain, or deflect immediately. I know that's hard. Your brain wants to jump in with, but I did that because, or that's not what I meant. Stop, breathe. Your only job right now is to understand what they're saying. That's it. Number 3 is reflect. Here's your permission slip. You don't have to respond immediately, especially if the feedback stings. Take some time, up to 24 hours if you need it. But ask yourself, what's the kernel of truth here? Am I seeing patterns? Is this the third person who's mentioned this? What would change if I took this seriously? Number 4 is respond. After you've had time to process, circle back. Thank them, even if it hurt to hear it. Share what you're taking away from the conversation. If it's still something unclear, now is the time to ask clarifying questions. And 5, resolve. This is where most people drop the ball. You've got to create an actual action plan. What are you going to do differently? Then, and this is the key, follow up. Let them know that you heard them and that you're working on it. Hey, remember that feedback you gave me about speaking up more in meetings? I've been making an effort to contribute, at least twice per meeting. Have you noticed a difference? That's a way that you build trust and you build credibility. But let's get really practical. Here's what good feedback reception actually looks like. First, active listening. Listen to understand, not to formulate your defense. Ask clarifying questions. Don't leave confused. Ask things like, can you give me a specific example? What would success look like in that situation? Or how often have you noticed this? And then paraphrasing. Confirm you've understood it. So what I'm hearing is that when I jump in during meetings, it makes others feel like their ideas aren't valued. Is that right? And here's the big one. Managing your defensiveness. Notice when you're getting triggered, that tight feeling in your chest or the urge to interrupt. That's your cue to slow down, breathe, and remember. If you're triggered, there's probably something important to learn here. Now let's talk about real power move. Actively asking for feedback. This is what separates good professionals from great leaders. Here's why you should seek it out. Don't wait for your annual review or the we need to talk moments. It shows confidence and a growth mindset on your part. You control the timing and you control the topic. People give better feedback when you initiate it. But here's where most people mess up. They ask questions that are way too vague. So here's an example of a bad one. Do you have any feedback for me? This invites a generic, nope, you're doing great, which helps absolutely no one. A good example could be, how did that client presentation land? What's one thing I could improve on? Or, I'm working on being more concise in meetings. Did you notice any improvements this week? You could also phrase it this way. What's one thing I could do differently to make our collaboration smoother? See the difference? Specific questions get specific useful answers. And here's the bottom line. Feedback doesn't have to be scary. It's actually one of the fastest paths to leveling up as a leader. So here's your challenge. This week, ask one person for specific feedback on one thing. Make it concrete and actually do something with what you hear. Then come back and drop a comment below and tell me how it went. I'll read every single comment. And if you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed right now at work, I've got a free guide for you, Feeling Stuck at Work, a 3-question reset. I'll put that link in the description below. Next week, we're flipping the script on how to give feedback that actually lands without the awkwardness. So hit the subscribe button so you don't miss it. I'm David Hofstetter, and I'll see you next week.